AITA for refusing to pay for my fiance and his friend's food and calling him a hypocrite? IF35 got engaged to my fiance, Caleb. M39 3 months ago. I have a son, 16. From my previous marriage. Caleb and I decided to merge finances after marriage. He said he's willing to agree with whatever terms but said that my son was old enough to work and pay for his own things. My son got a job around a month ago and started paying for his own things. Like his dinner and tickets whenever we go out. Though it was harsh and unrealistic to expect my son to be on his own financially. Caleb said this will encourage him to be more responsible and independent. Caleb unexpectedly lost his job recently and started relying on me to get us by. His birthday was last week and we decided, his idea actually, to celebrate at a restaurant. We had dinner and his 4 friends joined us later on. When the bill came, my son pulled out money to pay for his own meal and I pulled out money to pay for my own meal. Caleb was looking at me confused this entire time while his friend kept muttering. He looked at me and asked, "Wait, you're not gonna pay for us?" I looked at him and said, "So you say that my son is old enough to work and pay for his own dinner? Yet you expect me to pay for yours and your friends? Don't you see how much of a hypocrite that makes you look?" Quote. He was completely stunned. He started arguing about how he had no money and how this was his birthday. I told him yes, it was his birthday, but all I could do was bring him a gift and that's it. Besides that, he was the one who thought it was a good idea to go out and celebrate at a restaurant. While he's unemployed and has no money. He objected and said neither he or his friends had money and insisted I pay for them, but I refused. The argument got heated and his buddies started throwing comments at me. I took my son and went home. Caleb left over 10 missed calls, then texted me about how I embarrassed him and ruined his birthday. And humiliated his friends as well. He spent the night with them and came home the next day yelling about how spiteful and ugly my attitude was. He's still salty about it and is starting to say that he's having doubts trusting me with his money. Lol, what money? And is now convinced that merging finances might give me the chance to abuse him financially. Esh. You are an awe for letting an awe dictate how you parent. Especially because his ideas are dumb. A 16-year-old is a minor and shouldn't be required to pay for things like his meal at family dinner. Fiance is an awe for having poor parenting practices and for being a whiny hypocrite about money. Your poor son is stuck with both your bad choices. Either get couples counseling or get rid of the fiance. NTA for not paying for him and his friends. It is reasonable for him to expect that you would pay for him on his B-day, but it is outrageous that he expected that you would pay for his friends. YTA for letting a man convince you to make a 16 years old that you are legally and morally responsible for. Pay for such things. It's one thing to teach a kid financial responsibility. It's another thing to put such a heavy burden on a kid because of a man. Ultimately, Caleb is right. You should not merge your finances. He will be a burden to you financially and a bigger one to your son. He's shown you who he is. As the saying goes, if you don't know, now you know. Run. Do not walk. He doesn't seem to care about your thoughts on how you want to raise your son. He sees your son as a drain on his piggy bank. This is just the beginning. Esh. I'm glad you got your gotcha moment and you'll get lots of praise for it here. But I don't think it's cute that you're planning to marry this man who wants you to neglect and financially abandon your son. Instead of making dramatic points at dinner, protect your child and end this relationship. Girl, leave. I have to say NTA for the dinner thing. I don't care if it's lack of communication or something else. But YTA for letting this nut job of fiance treat your son like he's a financial burden. When he made that suggestion, that was the moment to call the engagement off. Info. Why are you comfortable having your minor son work and pay for meals? He's a minor. He's your responsibility. Does Caleb view him as competition in some way? NTA for not paying. YTA for not protecting and standing up for your child. I wish you the best of luck if you decide to go through with this marriage. These are classic red flags. Location flag, location flag, location flag, location flag, location flag, location flag. NTA. It'd be one thing if Caleb had spoken to you in advance about paying for the meal, but his broke ass just assumed you would? He's got 25 years on your son. Imagine the gall of him trying to teach your teenager financial independence while he sits on his broke ass expecting you to buy dinner for him and his little buddies. You didn't embarrass him. He embarrassed himself. Do not merge finances with this man even if you do still get married. He clearly isn't someone to be trusted with access to your money, especially since you're the only one who has any. NTA. Why do you want to marry this leech masquerading for a man? Whoa. Stop right now and do not merge finances or marry this man. There are several red flags here that should stop you from doing both. 1. Financial responsibility is a thing, but it seems that he decided that your son would have to pay for himself without even discussing it with you. I don't think he truly cares for your son. 2. If he expected you to pay for all his friends, that should have been a discussion in advance. 3. He no longer has a job and is broke? Is he financially responsible? Doesn't sound like it. If he was, he'd have had savings to fall back on. NTA. NTA. Run far away. NTA. Your fiance is a hypocrite. Please choose your son. Because this fiance of yours has shown that he is not only a bad parental figure, but just generally not a good person. Your son deserves better. NTA for not paying for your partner's dinner. But you let your fiance tell you that your legal dependent was old enough to start paying for his own meals? That's ridiculous. And you're kinda tough for that. NTA for calling your fiancé a hypocrite and making him pay for his own dinner. Huge YTA for making your minor son pay for all his own stuff even when you, his mother, said in your own words that you found it harsh and unrealistic. YTA for letting him dictate anything regarding your son. Your child is a minor that you're responsible for. Your fiancé gets no say in anything regarding his upbringing. You going along with his rules for your child is weak AF. Then he's broke? Drop the dead weight and focus on being a parent to your child. Nope. Emo, run from that. NTA. I can see, buy me dinner on my birthday, as pretty reasonable, but adding in his 4 friends? WTF? Especially if that hadn't been discussed. NTA. Tell him you agree that merged finances is way too risky and opens the door to financial abuse. Then resume covering your minor child's expenses, and your husband has until X date to resume covering his half of the household expenses. NTA. Sounds like he's the one abusing you financially. He wants to merge finances when he is unemployed? Course he does. Maintain separate money if you do decide to stay with this childish leech. NTA for refusing. But an off for prioritizing his opinion over your son in the first place.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic AITA is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.